Um, so, my name's Luan, Luan Wise. I'm a freelance marketing consultant. I don't know if any of you were on the social media do's and don'ts session a month or so ago, or have seen me at a trustees event. I'm doing some more of these kind of training sessions with the Arb Association over the next few months. So probably for about half an hour, I'm going to talk through some slides. We have hit the record button tonight and hopefully that will work. You will get a copy of the slide deck. Feel free to jump in and ask questions as we go. If not, we'll save the Q&A to the end and I will go through them then. This is an intro to Facebook, using Facebook for your Arb business. So let me dive in and share my slides. So I'm kind of assuming that everyone on the session is using Facebook for their business. It doesn't matter if you're not yet, if you're just here to kind of get started and find out what it's all about. You know, everyone's at different stages of what they're doing. Just opening up all these boxes, so I've got chat boxes and can see if you put anything in. So over the next half an hour really is just going to be a talk about Facebook, your Facebook page, some setup tips, some other tips. I'm going to talk a little bit about Facebook groups, because that is kind of where the direction of Facebook is shifting. They announced that at their big developers conference a few months ago. We all know that when you post things in your news feed, it doesn't get seen by everyone. There are algorithms at play. I don't talk about algorithms too much because we don't know too much about them really, apart from they're there and that they do prioritize the content that they think you want to see, which basically means the more you interact with something like the Arb Association Facebook page or the pages of your friends and family, the more likely you are to see their content. We'll talk about groups and then I will do an intro to Facebook advertising as well. So it's quite astounding really when you look at dates, and you know, sometimes you think that these years are only yesterday, but Facebook was founded in 2004. It was first launched in the States as a social networking service just for students. So at Harvard first, then rolled out to other universities, rolled out to universities in the UK, but it opened to the public in September 2006. So nearly 13 years now we've been able to use Facebook. They updated their mission statement a couple of years ago. It was about giving people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. But recently they've changed their mission. You know, Facebook changes all the time. And now it is about giving people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. So that community feel is really what Facebook is all about, and probably why things are much more about groups and events than it is about the Facebook page. Just, you know, there's lots of stats around Facebook use and how many people log in all the time and what they do. It's changing all the time. People are finding different purposes for it. We may argue that younger people are not joining Facebook. To a certain extent that's true because they like Instagram because it's very visual. They like YouTube because it's video and they love video, but they also don't really want to be on Facebook because that's where their parents are. So sometimes they don't want to join it. But at the same time, from some of the work I do with clients, and over the last week I've been doing a lot more work with universities around exam results. Well, Facebook is where you go when you join university. There's freshers pages, there's group pages, there's society pages. So for me, it's almost when people find this need for Facebook that it becomes valuable to them. Sometimes it's not always about your friends and family, it is about kind of groups and that community thing. So some of these slides are from Facebook themselves. I should have added that I am one of Facebook's accredited social media trainers. In the UK, I get to go and do Train the Trainer in their head office in London at least once a year. So some of these slides are directly from Facebook, including this one where Facebook is all about, it's giving you the ability to reach people where they're spending their time. I don't know how much time you spend on Facebook, or if you look at your screen time on your phone, maybe have a look after the session. Sometimes it's a bit worrying when you see how long you're actually screening and looking at things, whether it's purposeful time or not. People are on Facebook. And people do come to Facebook to connect with businesses. 1.6 billion people on Facebook are connected to a small business. 44% of Facebook users find out about new products and services by using Facebook, and this is increasingly popular. 8 billion messages are sent between people and businesses every month. So Facebook has a whole family of apps. It's not just the Facebook application itself. They own WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger is increasingly popular as well. So it's not all about the publicly visible content. There's a lot of one-to-one conversations that go on as well. When I was working with universities last week, we were making students university offers via Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. So on Facebook, you as an individual will have your own personal profile. It will look a bit like this. As a business, you cannot use a personal profile. You wouldn't want to, because there's different functionality around a business page, but it would actually be against Facebook's user terms and conditions to use a personal profile set up for a business. You do need to log in from a personal profile to set up your page, and to access your page is usually the easiest way of doing it. But don't worry, even if you do it that way, people won't know that it's you associated with your business page unless you specifically give people that information. So even though you log in and set it up through your own profile, it's not necessarily publicly visible on the page. Now, when you are using Facebook though, you are, most of the time, if you're liking things, if you're commenting on things, you will be doing it as an individual. So I just want to recap and highlight to you, whether you're using it for business or not, but just how important it is for you to check your settings on your Facebook page. For a few reasons. If you like something on a Facebook page, on a company page, a brand page, in a group, and you've done that from your personal profile, I could click on that and potentially see pictures of your house, of your holidays, of your children, if you do not close down your settings. So I would encourage you to go through your own privacy settings on Facebook. When you go to the top right hand corner, there'll be a drop down that says settings. Go through them, the privacy settings, the notification settings, and just make sure you know what you're sharing and with who. And I would even go to the point of, can people tag you into things? I do not allow my friends and family to tag me in photos or check me in somewhere without my permission to accept that. I keep as much control as I can over the information about me as a business owner that's in the public domain, and I go through my privacy settings on every social media platform. And just to kind of highlight that as well is, even if you think your Facebook profile is closed down for friends and family, well, actually, when you are liking things, when you are commenting, and it will appear in Google search as well, your profile photo, as you can see there is, you know, a couple of people on a night out, your profile photo will be visible to people. So I really would encourage you to make sure that it's a professional photo that you don't mind the world seeing on your Facebook profile. And Facebook brought back a setting just a couple of months ago that allows you to actually see what people, when you're not friends with them, so the public, what they can see on your Facebook. So if you use this on the phone, go to your profile, this is mine. If you click those three dots that I've circled, then you'll see a drop down that says View As. That will allow you to see what people who are not your friends and family can see. And that's just worth doing to see if you are revealing your house, your holiday, your home, your pictures of your children, your pets, and everything you do at a weekend. So I would just encourage you to do that however you're using Facebook. Now, when it comes to your business page, whether you've set this up already or whether this is just a checklist of things for you to go back on, what's really important is that you do just go through everything on your Facebook business page and check that you've completed everything. Go to the About tab and describe your business. Tell people who you are, where you're located, the size of your business, the services that you offer. Do fill in all of those sections, your opening hours, your phone number, everyone's on Facebook all day, every day. So if they want to find you, they need to be able to find that information and get in touch with you really easily. So do go through each tab and make sure you've filled in all the sections where there's information that can be added. Do make sure that you've got a profile photo on there. This is your page, so it's probably going to be your logo. And do make sure that you put a really great cover photo on there or a background image. And this is something that you could change all the time. You could change it seasonally. You could change it when you've got an event to promote or something that you're working on or to highlight. It's just the first impression, and people will see that big bold image as soon as they go to your page. As I said, fill in all the sections, the about section, your phone number, your opening hours, your contact details. Just make sure that you go through those as part of the setup. You can include under that banner image a call to action button. You can have one of these, sometimes two, on your profile. And by call to action, I mean what you want people to do when they're on your Facebook page. So do you want them to book an event, like we've asked you to do this evening? Do you want people to shop? Do you want people to send you a message, make a booking? Think about the purpose of your page for your business and where you can add those call to action buttons onto your profile. Book now, shop, or for the restaurant, start your order. Now, in terms of your page, so one person will set this up from your profile, a personal profile. One person will own the page, but then you can have other roles involved in your Facebook page. You can have other administrators, you can have other editors, different levels of kind of access and control over being able to post content on your page. It is advisable, if you've got a team, to give them access to be able to post on your page when you're out. Go to settings and you will see page roles down the left hand side and how you can assign those and see who's there. And if anyone ever does leave your business, just double check that they don't still have access to be able to post on your business Facebook page and that you remove them from it. So it's quite simple to kind of add these roles: admin, editor, moderator, analyst, contributor. Now, you will find quite often Facebook do change, they do add things. You'll see quite often down the right hand side when you're working on your business page that Facebook offers you page tips. It will give you ideas of things that you could be doing. For example, the one here, let people know when you're open. This page probably haven't put their opening hours on. So do look out for the tips that Facebook is offering you, because it will be identifying the gaps on your profile and encouraging you to fill those in. It will give you all these ideas, how to invite people, how to post more content. Now, ultimately, we are using Facebook for your business. You are spending time on using Facebook for your business. So it's really important that you know where to go to have a look at the results and the stats and what it's doing for you. So when you're on your business page, as an administrator, as an owner, as a moderator, this is when you will see along the top, if you can see that it says Insights. And then it will bring up an overview page as there is here. And down the left-hand side, you will be able to click into much more detail into other areas to look at if you've promoted anything, what's happened on the page, if you've got videos on there. You can have a look. The people button will tell you the age and gender of people that like your page and the country that they're from. But I find just going in, having a look at the overview and scrolling down, and we can see here that there's little green arrows and increases. So it's just really given me a snapshot over the last 7 days of how I'm improving. Every business's stats are different. I think the key to social media is that you just look to make continual improvements all the time. So that's why graphs and green up arrows and red down arrows are a really good way of keeping an eye on what you're doing and just encouraging you to do a little bit more. Or if you've done something because you've been involved in a big event or a big promotion, or you've had some time to post videos or something new, you can see what kind of impact that's made by going to your Facebook Insights and scrolling down the overview. If you really do love data and want to crunch the data, can you see on there it says export data? If you click on that, you can select your date range and you can download data into CSV, Excel document formats, and then you'll be able to manipulate it and add columns up and things like that. There is so much data in there. I would really think about what do you want to know and what will help you do something better when you see those stats. Otherwise, you could spend days and days in there and it won't make an impact on your business. Maybe just look at the overview page and those upward graphs. There we go. So you can see some of that stuff happening right there. So your Facebook page, now you've set it up and you've filled everything in and you kind of know, you're starting to think about why you're using this for your business. Well, the biggest mistake people make with social media is that they dip in and out. They dip in and out when they're busy, when they're not busy, they don't know what to say. What's most important is that you just show up consistently. Whether that is every day, whether that's once a week, you just do this as often as you can, as consistently as you can, regardless of how busy you are or how quiet you are. It's much better to kind of make it a habit, make it part of your business activity rather than turning it into a big chore or a panic because you haven't done something. The best advice from Facebook is that you post onto your page 3 to 5 times a week. It's not like Twitter where it's really fast and things disappear. 3 to 5 times a week I think is achievable. I'll give you some content ideas over the next couple of slides. Do use photos and videos. I've been following a number of relevant accounts from local people that I've met at the Arb Association and some of their members. And you've got some great photos, particularly kind of before and after, some videos of work in progress. Just tell people what you're doing, show people what you're doing, and they'll be interested and they'll understand what it is you can offer to them. It's social media, so don't forget to be social. If people are sending you messages, whether it's on your page or through Messenger, you need to reply to them. If people are commenting, you need to reply to them, say thank you, ask them if they need any more information, acknowledge something, answer their questions. And we'll come to this when we look at content as well, if you are sharing things because you've been to an event or it's a piece of content from your membership association, then do mention them. Tag them in, start writing at and their name, and hopefully you would see it in the drop down. Mention them. They would get a notification and that will immediately get them onto your page, and they may comment and like and extend the reach of your content to their audiences as well. And Facebook is great for reviews and recommendations. You may often see people asking for recommendations on Facebook and Facebook groups, as we're going to talk about shortly. So do look out for those and get involved in those if you can, whether it's yourself or whether you have friends and family or some of your happy customers helping respond to those recommendations. But also ask your customers for reviews on your page. We live in a world now where people book hotels based on TripAdvisor, where people buy products on Amazon or don't buy products on there based on the reviews and the number of stars they've got. So if you have happy customers, at the end of your process, perhaps, you've done the job, you're invoicing them, you've taken, everything away from the site, why not ask them to leave you a Facebook review? It will really help your business. People look for those, and there's nothing better than kind of other people referring you and saying how great you are, as well as you saying that for yourself. Just back to settings on your own business page. So we talked about your personal privacy settings earlier. You can also have privacy settings on your business page in terms of whether you want reviews to be left or not. I would suggest you do. Whether you can get found, whether people can comment on things, whether people can tag you in. So in a very similar way to your personal profiles, your business page has settings as well, and I'd encourage you to have a look through those and make sure you know who can do what on your page and what people can see. one page there. Here is your page published. Can visitors post on there? Can you do stories? Can people send you messages? Can people be tagged in? Is there any age restrictions to your content? Probably not. Can people see updates? Have you got languages? So probably not a lot you need to do on there, but it is really worth just going in and making sure you know what's what. So back to content on your Facebook page. What do we want to think about when we're running a Facebook page? Well, we need to just focus on our audience, which is why I don't really talk about algorithms, because I think it's much more important to focus on your audience and what would they be interested in seeing on Facebook. Why do you think they're following your Facebook page? It's to learn more about you, to get to know you, to watch what you're doing so that when they need your services, you'll come to mind. Don't assume your followers understand your business. You need to tell people what you do. You need to show people what you do. You need to share top tips and ideas and testimonials. You're in your business. You know your jargon. You know what services you offer inside out and back to front. Your followers don't. So don't hesitate in kind of sharing that kind of content. What can you post? Top tips. People love top tips. Nice, simple top tips. If it's going to be a scorching bank holiday weekend, what do they need to do? If it's not, what do they need to do? Post business news. People like to celebrate success. They like to know when you have got new team members, when you've worked on a new project, maybe when you've got some new kit. You know, it's not a big chore to just kind of narrate your business and tell people what you're doing, what you're working on, and where you are. Meet the team. Go behind the scenes of your business. Do share any testimonials and reviews you've got and keep sharing them. Don't think you have to post something new each and every time. Not everyone will see everything the first time. They may be in the market for your services this month, but they won't be again for another 12 months. They will miss stuff. So keep posting those tips. Keep posting the team pictures and what you're doing. There are lots and lots of awareness days. I haven't checked what today is, but there's always Plastic Free July, Read a Book Day, World Planning Day, Ice Cream Month. You know, there's always all sorts of days that take place in awareness campaigns. Some of them will be relevant to your business, some won't. But where there is something that's relevant to your business, like National Tree Week or Environment Day, those kind of things, if you can identify those and put those into your plan and get involved, that's great content. And don't forget that the Arb Association have got lots of content on their website and on their own Facebook page that you can use, that you can share. Do credit them, do mention them, do make sure you tell people where you got your information from, but they've done all the work for you. So use that as one of your 3 to 5 posts a week. Even if that's just one of them, you've only got to find 2 more. You should always have something behind the scenes, and I'm sure you've got lots of top tips. So hopefully just that slide there will give you more things to post on your page so that you can do that showing up consistently. Here's some ideas. This Facebook page, CTS Forestry, we're showing people that they've been on chainsaw maintenance courses. Thor's Trees, share top tips. They've created these as graphics, which is always good as well. There's really simple tools out there. I'll include a link at the end when we send this out actually to one that's free called Canva, where you can set up really simple graphics like this. And as you can see, that really stands out on the page. If people were to be scrolling past, they'll spot that top tip on their phone or on their desktop. And testimonials. Again, Thor's Tree have created a graphic of the testimonials. A satisfied client lets people know what they do and how appreciated they are. What makes a good Facebook post? Most of the time it's as long as it needs to be, but without waffling, but telling people as well, kind of giving people context. So don't just say Happy Earth Day. And so what? People, they're scrolling so quickly and they may not notice that you're an Arb business and why you're posting that. So add a bit of context to it. Don't go too long into too much detail. Facebook isn't the place for that. People are scrolling through too quickly. They don't want to read a book or a blog on their news feeds. Just write 2 or 3 sentences, straight to the point, a strong visual or a link that lets people know what it's about, and if it's right for them to get more involved in the post. So the more time you spend on social media and Facebook, you'll kind of, as a user yourself, you'll kind of start to recognize, well, that was too short. It didn't mean anything to me. Oh, never going to read anything like that. Straight to the point, visual, couple of sentences, know what this is about. That's helpful for me. That's the kind of content that's just right. So I mentioned at the beginning Facebook groups. Facebook groups are where lots of conversations are happening all the time. And this is just one example that I found in a group local to me. I live in Cirencester in Gloucestershire, and I spotted, this may be right for you, it may not be, but someone posted in a Facebook group, I'm looking for someone to work on an overgrown tree, who can help? There are lots of great groups. You need to kind of search and find groups. There are 3 different types of groups. There are open groups, which means you can join them, but actually you don't need to join them to see what's going on in there. You can just find the group, search through, see everything. There are closed groups where you have to request to join, and you can only see the content that's within that group once you've joined. That's searchable, you'll be able to find it. Sometimes people have secret groups, which would mean you can only join them if you're invited to them. We could create a secret group for everyone on this webinar tonight to carry on conversations afterwards. No one else would be able to join because they just wouldn't be able to find it or know about it. And groups are basically smaller places where you can have discussions with like-minded people. Different types of groups, when people set them up, they can set it up as a group just for their close friends. You could set it up as a group for your friends and family, for specific projects that you're working on, or for specific purposes. So you may not want to start a group right now. You may do at one point in the future, but I'd encourage you to think about what that group is for and how you're going to manage it. But just there is different types of groups that you can find on Facebook. The key criteria when you are finding and joining groups is really that you look for groups that have a good about description, that when you join them that they're active, it's not 3 months since someone last posted something in there, and just that there's not loads of spam in there. There's not lots of noise or people kind of shouting and read my stuff, buy this, buy that. You want something with good quality conversations. Most of the time you would join a group via your personal profile, but towards the end of last year, Facebook changed that, and some group owners will now allow you to join as your page. So it's up to the group owner whether they allow personal profiles or pages, but that was a bit of a barrier to people wanting to take part in groups if they kind of didn't want to show themselves as the person behind the business. Sometimes those groups will have what we call onboarding questions. So they may have 3 questions to kind of say, will you abide by our rules? This is a UK group, do you live in the UK, kind of thing. Not taxing questions, but just as a bit of a filter before they let you in. And some of them will have group rules. Some of them will be you can't advertise, or you can only advertise on a Thursday on a certain thread kind of thing. To be honest, that makes it a good group because it's well controlled and it's well managed. Just things to look out for when you're joining them. You may find groups for your own learning. You may find groups that are great for peer-to-peer support, your colleagues, people doing the same as you do, or you may find groups where you can find your target audience. And by target audience, that could just be people that live in your local area. So I only moved to Cirencester a year ago. The first thing I did was join all the local Cirencester groups so I could see what was going on, and if I needed to find a local person for a recommendation, I'd find that in a local group. I'm also in groups with other marketers who are asking questions or making recommendations. That's where I get my peer-to-peer support. And I learn by being in groups about my topic and my subject. I learn by the questions that other people are asking in a group and by the answers that people are offering as well. So it's not always about finding business opportunities. It can be for learning and support as well. Finding and joining groups, a bit hard to see on this slide, I appreciate, but basically the image down the left-hand side is showing you that when you're on your Facebook page, there's a search box. You can just click into that search box. So you could put trees, you could put Arb, you could put your local town in there. The other image is that when you start to search, when you get the search results, it will say, do you want to search by people or by pages or by groups to find things? And then you will start to see the search results. So you would see that photo, whether it's an individual or a logo or something belonging to that group. You'd see the name of the group and you would see a short description about it. And sometimes that's what you need to read to decide whether you think that that group is worth joining. Do take part in the discussions. A good group host will prompt, you know, what you're working on this week, what have you done? You know, can anyone recommend this? You know, what you're doing at the weekend, over the bank holiday. Sometimes they will kind of prompt those discussions. Don't sell in there, but do just try and share stories about your own experiences, share knowledge and advice. Just be really helpful. You know, that's what people are looking for. They're not looking for, here's my phone number, I'll give you a quote. They are looking for you to offer advice and be the go-to person, so that when they need someone like you with your services that you offer, you will be recommended and people will know what you're up to. And ask other people to recommend you as well. For example, I often see in local groups people asking for recommendations of accountants and solicitors, and sometimes I think it can come better from their customers, people that genuinely use those services, than the marketing manager of the accountants or the solicitors. So it may be that you have a short list of key contacts that if you spot something in a group, you could just maybe ping them a text and say, oh, someone's looking for this in a group, would you mind putting my name forward and helping me out? Sometimes that can be a stronger referral than you going, yeah, I can help, I'm available. Okay, how are we doing? 7:30. A quick whirlwind tour around Facebook advertising. And the reason that we're talking about Facebook advertising, and you probably know this, because it is hard to get people to see your content on your Facebook page. Facebook groups can take time and effort to get results from. So how do we get more people to see our stuff, our posts, those 3 to 5 posts a week? Well, sometimes we may want to put a little bit of money behind them to extend the reach. And by reach, I mean how many people are seeing it. And there's 2 ways to do Facebook advertising. One is boosting, and you've probably seen this on every post on your page, that you'll see that blue button right there. And actually this does what it says on the tin. If you hover over that blue button, it will say, get more people to see and engage with your post. So boosting really only works when you want more people to see what you are putting on your Facebook page. This is not the place to try and drive traffic to your website or, you know, to your shop or phone numbers. This is about, I've put something on my web page, on my Facebook page, and I need more people to see it. So think about it that way. So boosting can be useful. It's quite an entry point into Facebook advertising. I wouldn't do it on every post. I would think first about why are you posting it and what's the objective behind it, which I'll come on to again in a second. Just using the boost post is fine, but if you are going to do this seriously and spend more time on it and put a bit more money behind it and coordinated effort, then actually you want to set up what is called Ads Manager. It's free to set up. It's a bit more of a dashboard. It looks a bit more like the Insights screen that I showed you earlier on. Use Ads Manager. You can also use Ads Manager to set up your audiences for your boosts. I'll come on to this, it'll make more sense in a bit. The benefit of Ads Manager over boosts is that you can be more detailed with the people that you are inviting to see and engage with your post. So if you adjust to boost, you may only be able to select people that like your page, or people that like your page and their friends, or people within a 50-mile radius of a location. In Ads Manager, you can get much more detailed about the criteria of the people that you want to see your content. What you can also do with Ads Manager is create adverts that will be seen by people without necessarily posting that content onto your Facebook page. So I call it off the page because this is where you will create an advert that isn't on your page. Your regular people will not see it. So this can sometimes be good if you've got a promotion that you want to get out to more people, but you just don't want it to be seen on your page. The advice from Facebook is that if you are doing any boosting or ads, you should be spending a minimum of £5 a day. And if you're running it as a campaign, you probably want to run it for a minimum of 2 weeks, so that you basically get a bit of understanding and insight and testing around what is happening and what kind of results you're getting. So you're looking at about £75, £80, which is why you shouldn't just be hitting that boost button lightly, because that's, you know, that's not a small amount to spend. You really need to think about, is this something that I need to advertise? Is this something that a Facebook audience will respond to in the way that I want them to? So when it comes to Facebook ads, this is where, when you do this in Ads Manager, and sometimes when you set up anything else kind of behind the scenes, Facebook will prompt you to say, what is your objective for this? What is your business goal that you want to achieve by setting up this ad? And they put that into 3 categories. The first one is awareness. Do you want more people to know about your business? Is it so that you could remind existing clients, or is it so that you can reach new people? The next stage in marketing after people know about your business is what we would call consideration. And that is where we want them to do something more detailed. They already know a little bit about you, so they will be happy to maybe click on a link to go through to your website. They may be happy to sit and watch a video, how to, or a demo. They may want to inquire about a product. There's different stages, different messages, different purposes. And then, you know, if they know of you and they've been to your website before and you want to get them to convert, to make them buy something, well, then you would run a conversion objective ad, which is when you may be selling something on the page, the sign up page for an event, for example. So you do need to think before you hit that boost button and before you get involved in Ads Manager, what is it you want to achieve? And it's the same process that you would go through if you were considering advertising in a local paper or a local directory. Just because it's social media and there's that big blue button to hit post doesn't mean that you need to do it. You can, when you've got Ads Manager and you're getting a bit more in depth, you can choose different audiences for your adverts. So you would have your core audience, which is based on characteristics such as age and location and gender. The more detailed you go in, if you have an email list and you have permissions to use it, which is part of your GDPR privacy policy, you can actually upload your email list to Facebook, and where the email addresses match, you could serve a Facebook ad to those people on your email list. So just to go back, your core audience, when you only know their age, gender, location, is probably going to be that advertising awareness objective. When it's a custom audience, so you've already got their data, they're already aware of you, that's probably your consideration. And lookalike audiences is a great option within Facebook, whether that's developed from your core audience because you know about them, or from a customer list. Basically, Facebook can kind of say, yeah, well, we know this about them. Here's some other people that match that criteria based on what we know about them from their use of Facebook. I know Facebook has been in the news a lot because of data. As users of Facebook, we give them that data and we give them permission. So we've signed up to their terms and conditions, we've ticked a box, and if we tell them that we like watching Strictly Come Dancing, or if we tell them that we like watching Love Island, then they will probably show us things that we are more likely to be interested in, based on what interests we give it. So think all the time, what are you liking, what are you engaging with? That's why you're probably seeing content that you're you've been thinking about or chatting about. Facebook is just using the information that you give it and profiling you against other people that also say they like similar things. You can do all of this when you're setting up your ads. Can you see here you've got locations? You can do that from country, or you can do it down to quite a small radius from your location. You can do demographics, so that's your age, gender. You can do interests. If you heard me and Emma chatting at the beginning, I can do cleaning as an interest for some Facebook ads if I wanted to target an audience for cleaning household products. If that product was on special offer in Sainsbury's right now, then I could target it at people that have shown an interest or have been to Sainsbury's recently, that are in our target audience demographics, age range, and location of that store. So we can get quite detailed. The more we know about our audience, the more targeted we can get with our content. We can create those, and the great thing that Facebook does is as we're adding the criteria for what we know we want to show our ad to, can you see this bar at the bottom? We basically need to get into the green section, which is when Facebook is kind of saying, yeah, there's enough of those kind of people on Facebook for us to be able to show them your ad. So it needs to be green. If it's too small, your ad just won't get seen. It's not a big enough audience. Facebook can't find them enough to be that targeted. So don't go in the red, try and be in the green. You don't want to go too broad though. So, your services aren't for everyone. So don't try and target everyone because you won't convert them. They won't be right for your business. Try and stick to that green area. And just to finish off, this is a bit of a kind of a whirlwind intro just to show you kind of what's available really. And you'll probably start to see this if you look into it a bit more. There are different types of ads on Facebook. A carousel ad, the first one that's highlighted, is when you've got more than one image that you want people to scroll through. So if you have more than one service, more than one product, more than one meet the team, you can have those so that people scroll through. That can be quite effective sometimes. Sometimes you may just have one big ad because it's about promoting an event or a key service or something that people must do over bank holiday weekend when it's sunny outside. Then you could just do one strong single image. Videos can be great. You may just want to put a single video. You may want to create a looping video of graphics or text. There's all sorts of options there. It's all available within Facebook, but you need to take that step back first, understand what you're trying to achieve, what your business goals are, then what is the best way of doing it. Don't just hit that boost button because you think that's the only way to get more likes on your page. You can waste a lot of money that way. It's not targeted. I would just say before we go into chat, I'm just about finished, is this changes all the time. The Facebook ad spec actually changed at the beginning of last week to different things. I do have an email newsletter which I'll add to the resources. If you want to subscribe to that, I round up all the changes every week and put that straight into your email inbox.